Boys and girls, you're about to get some good results. 45 minutes of the Croz leg. Give it up. Come on, people. The 70s called.
Gotta live for today.
Go and get him, champ.
Keep it going for a minute. And we gotta live for today. I wanted them to play it all, or a little bit more, because Brad hates it. He hates it. Anyway, who's met me before? Who's seen me before? And who's never heard of me? Lovely. Enjoy yourself. Anyway, I'm going to put Mini Croz out there, do some social media with him, give him a kiss, do the photos. Let's get now what trending, okay? Now listen, I'm going to be trending today because, believe it or not, I've got a slide. My own slide, and we're going to have it later, okay? So there's something exciting because I really sort of go very, very much with the old school. And excuse me, I don't normally do this, but this is my 5th Now What. So anyone who's been to Now What before, I have to keep changing things, and sometimes it's getting a bit old, I forget things, so just forgive me on that. One of the main questions that I get asked, and people say to me, what gives you the right to stand up there and tell people what you think? I said, I don't have a right to do it, but I found out 25 years ago something very, very powerful, and that is how powerful your mind is. All what we've heard this morning is all about what's happening up here. Now, who would like to know some information that's going to help them do things with what's happening up here? Okay, because we're going to go on a little journey. But first of all, how did I learn this? 25 years ago, I had a multi-million-pound business with 250 staff, and I took a chap on, loved him like a son, and I made him a director of the company. And he went in, he was the operations manager, and he went to all the people. And I don't normally tell people to drag up the past, but if this is going to help you, this information, I don't mind talking about it. But it ain't a good thing to do on a regular basis. If it's going to affect how you feel, this don't affect me anymore, because as a result of what happened to me, I'm here now talking to you, telling you about it, and hopefully it's going to help you. So, to cut a long story short, I loved him like a son. He was round my house on Christmas Day, and on the 6th of January, I got a phone call from one of our major clients. We're going with a new company. Val, quick, get hold of Mike. He'll sort this out. Another phone call. We're going with another company. Anyway, we ring Mike. Guess what? We can't get hold of Mike. Mike's gone on the missing list because Mike has gone and white-handed us. He's gone to all our clients and said, we'll do your work. It was we did bouncers, crowd control. We'll do all your work for $1 an hour less. Now, he's got no expenses because he's nicked the business, but we've got all loans and things that we've had and put a load of money into it. But you work it out, 250 guys, minimum of 10 hours a week, right? You work it out, 7 days a week, that's a hell of a lot of money. So he's offering this less, okay? So what happened, I've gone absolutely bizarre. I just can't work it out. Got a lovely business earning me a nice few quid, and all of a sudden, it's gone. Everything has gone. So this is a lesson to you. When you are in that situation, call a friend. Call anyone to calm you down. Because do you know what we did, or what I did? I rushed and I sold everything I had. And I had $250,000. True story. I think I'm skint. Everybody around me thinks I'm rich, but I think I'm skint because from where I've fallen, 250 grand ain't going to cut it. So what I do, being real clever, I think I'll open another business, which I did. And I spent 2 years on that business. Earlier in our existence, my wife said to me, Croz, never ever, we've had 50 businesses, by the way, or been involved in 50 businesses. She said, never ever get involved in the hospitality trade again. No. What do? Open a bloody dessert restaurant called Deadly Desserts, which was aptly named because it nearly killed us. Anyway, so we open the restaurant and we knock our pipe out 80 hours a week for 2 years, right? And do you know what I've done in the end? Put the key in the door and walked away. And we're going to talk about why I did that later. I call that sunk investment, a very important thing. So now we're absolutely skint, right? The moral of the story is if I'd have rung someone up who had a rough idea what was going on and could just sit me down and calm me down, but I'm floating about 2 inches above the floor, right? Someone had just sat me down and said, Croz, do yourself a favour. Go and lie by your pool for 2 years. Pay yourself 25 grand a year. Right, and guess what? After 2 years, I'd have still had 200 grand. My brain would have been okay. I'd have been able to do something with it, right? And everything would have been lovely. Instead of that, I worked myself to death, I put the key in the door and walked away from it all. So the lesson is never, ever, ever make a decision when you're stressed. Because I don't care who you are and how clever you are, it will be wrong. Okay? Right. So who wants to hear a little bit about what goes on in the bonds? Right. Now, in life, 90% of people live in this area here. Okay? And 10% are the people that you go, he's a lucky bastard. Look at him. Ain't he lucky? Everything he touches turns to gold. Who knows him? Who knows that person? We all know a person that lives in the 10%. And we're always saying to ourselves, if only I could be like him, if only I could be like him. But what happens, anyone who's seen me before, what's this? The brain. This is collapsing a little bit here. Hang on.
I'll sort that out. Look at this. So it's teamwork, isn't it, Croz? That's what it needs sometimes. One person can't do it alone. Come on, buddy, you're all right. You keep
That's
talking.
It's done now.
You comfortable?
Hey?
You comfortable?
Yeah, lovely.
I'll piss
Brilliant,
off now.
Yeah.
Brad Burton, boys and girls.
Right. So, this is the brain. And this is all imagination because we think in pictures. But we don't know what our brain looks like, do we? So every time we think of what's going on up there, we're confused. So if you remember this, it'll help you out enormously in life. You are programmed from a very, very early age. Okay? All them lovely people in your life that think they're doing you a favour. Oh, don't do that. Auntie Lil, don't go into business. I know someone who went into business, they went skint, Steve. So you do it, don't bother about it, right? All those people are telling you to not do things, they think they're helping you. But you're programmed, 100% programmed. So if you're in this area here, this is a big wall you've got to get over here. If you're in this area here, you are programmed. And guess what? You are doomed to stay there. Horrible thing to say, but true. You are doomed to stay there unless you take on board this information. You are programmed. You think A. Right? Now down here are all the people in the past that have programmed you. So where do you go for your information, for the answers? Down here. So you get an A thought and you search down here and that sends back up there an A answer. So your results are what? A. Okay? A goes in. Take notice of this because this will change your life, guys. A goes in. You go searching around here and they say, yeah, okay, we've all programmed you. That's it. A's perfect. And the results you get are A. But someone living on this side here, right? He pokes his head over the wall and he says, I've got some information for you. What? Yes, information, it will change your life. What is it? Tell me. And he says, it's B. That's all you need to know, B. Right. You sure? Yeah, no problem. It all works. So B goes in here. And where does he go looking for the answer? Down here. So he sends B down there, right? And what does the answer come back? Sorry, A. A result. Make any sense? Right. So what have you got to do? The silly old bastard with grey hair and the beard, right? Not bad looking either by all accounts. He says to you, this will change your life, right? Very, very simple things, hard to do but simple, and we'll discuss them later. He tells you this will change your life, but all this previous programming is pinning you to the spot. Who feels pinned to the spot at the moment? Who just can't seem to move that little bit further? This is what's happening, guys. You're taking on the information, you're sort of assimilating it all down here, and it's coming back. Now, I don't care where you are in that spot. I don't care what you do, how much money you've got, what problems you've got. You will stay here until you take on some more information. So that when that silly old bastard pokes his head over the wall and says, this'll help you, you'll put it down here as a B, and hopefully what will come back? A B. All systems go and you get a B result. And that, my friends, in very simple terms, is what goes on. But look at the wonderful thing that happens. I got a bit of a throat today because I was in a prison cell last night with no windows, and I could hardly breathe. Right, so wherever you are in here, you are doomed to stay here. But the wonderful thing is, wherever you are, you can take the information, make sense of it, action it, and get on this side of the bloody wall. All right? You're not limited to where you are. But the unfortunate thing is, in this bit, you've got competition. Because everyone in this bit, in this side, is trying to eat each other. They're not trying to help each other. They're all going, oh, like, you know, when you've done the exam when you was at school and you put your arm around it so no one could cheat. I used to let them read mine, so we all failed. You've got competition. This side, guess what you got? Creativity. These people ain't worried about competition. They're not looking at the other people. They're just getting on with what they got to do. Most of you are spending time saying, how can we undercut our prices so we get more work? It's clever, isn't it? How can we undercut our prices so we get more? These people over this side are saying, how can we put our prices up and get a few more quid in the door? And you're people over here. So you are feeding these people because you're stuck where you are. And all you've got to do is change a very, very simple little thing. Now, we all here in life, I talk to people quite a lot actually, and I say to them, where are you going? What do you mean, where are you going? I said, well, where are you going? Where's your vision? Where's your clear mental image of what you want in the... Well, I don't know. I said, you don't know where you're going? You get up every day and you ain't got no idea why you're doing it. That don't make any sense, does it? If you was an alien and you come down and they said, where are you going? And you said, nowhere, but I feel lost. What? You're going nowhere and you feel lost. I don't believe it. So this is a problem that we have, right? Most people, north, south, no, east, west. Because I remember I lived in Perth in Australia, so it was this side. That's the only one to get it right, because I always want to spell news out of it. So, a lot of people get confused, right? And they say, where are you going? So I'm heading north. Yeah. But why are you heading north? Well, I know, that's my direction I'm going in is north. Yeah. But where are you going? North. Well, north's no good, because north eventually will end up as south, and you've got no control over it. You just keep going round and round. Or you could go that way, right? Direction and destination are two different things, okay? Don't get them mixed up, because you might spend the rest of your life going on any direction of a bloody compass with no actual goal. Make sense? So make sure that you have got a destination, not a direction in life. So I'm going through these things quickly because there's a few things here that'll help you. Who goes to the gym? Fidel does, he's a lovely Muslim. Oh yeah, Robert does, yeah. Okay, so you go to the gym. Now, let's look at the gym as if we're looking at life. In the gym, let's make it barbells, because that'd be better. These things here with all the things what they do in the Olympics, right? Right, that's £500. I don't know what sort of weights you lift and all that sort of thing, but that's £500. Now you lob up at the gym Monday morning, right? And someone says to you, lift that up. Ooh, no. The first thing that will go through your mind would be, what I'll do, I'll have a little bit of, I'll train myself, right? And I'll start with like £50, okay? And I'll build up. And when I've done 50, I'll do a 75 until I can build up to this weight, right? You don't expect it all to happen straight away. So you train and you let it build up. So why, in life, when you do something, do you want instant results? You're not prepared to put the bit of time in to do it. So just think back to the gym, right? If you start a business, it's a £500 weight. Okay, not a problem if you work up to it. But everyone, they sort of say, oh, I've been doing it for nearly 2 weeks now, and I ain't bought a house or a car or nothing. 2 weeks, what's going on? They told me, the bloke at that motivational thing, when I rushed up the back and partied with me £5 for the thing that told me how to get hold of the money, said it had only been 3 weeks. And 2 weeks into it and nothing's happening. Listen, it takes time, all right? But just be prepared. Think of the barbells. And let's put my old friend here. This is Fidel lifting it. Ooh, yeah, he got his arm there. Oh dear. You know. Think of Fidel lifting the £500 weight. So does that make sense? Right? Don't try and rush everything. Okay. So, now another thing that people have a problem with, okay? Who's had a real major problem in life? A real biggie? Come on, be honest. I'm medically trained, you can be honest with me. Come on, get your hand up if you mean it. So we've all had a big problem, right? A huge problem. Now whisper the answer because it's going to shock you. Where is it now? In the past, right? It's in the past. So why do we drag it around with us to give us an excuse for things going wrong today? Hey, why do we say, if it weren't for that divorce, everything would be all right? If that bloke hadn't nicked my business, everything would be all right. No one cares. Sad, isn't it? No one gives a stuff. You can go and stand until people are old and grey telling them all your hard luck stories. They ain't interested. 90% ain't interested, but the other 10% say, oh, tell us more, mate. I like to hear about things going wrong in people's lives. So all you're doing is feeding the bad people and annoying the other people. It's like trying to teach a pig to sing. You'll annoy the shit out of the pig and drive yourself mad. So, in life, okay, leave all your headaches and problems behind you. No one's interested in them. Do you know what I had to do with my situation? I was dragging that round. Can you imagine Uncle Croz trying to borrow a few quid? Yeah, but this all went wrong, and I used to have money, and this happened. And Peter looked at me and said, go away. We're not interested, right? I was dragging that around with me for so long, it was affecting everything I did. I was waking up every morning wondering how I could get me revenge on this geezer. Should I pull his arms off? What about rip his head off? Pull his ears? Every day I was going through doing that. And then someone said to me, someone who I loved dearly, who was a mentor of mine very, very early, and she said, you've got to forgive him. Oh, that's a good one. Forgive him? You must be joking. Do you know what he done to me? He nicked my business, and everything in life that's gone wrong is his fault. No, it's not. It's your fault, because you're dragging it around with him. And until such time as you let go, nothing will happen. So I said, all right, I'll have a go. But look, I've got my fingers crossed behind my back. See, I'll have a go then. No. No fingers crossed. You have got to write him a letter. You've got to write him a letter and tell him that you forgive him and that you wish him well. That was a big one. It was a big one. Anyway, my wife, who actually is my rock and my saviour, said to me, Croz, you spend your whole life telling everyone else what to bloody do. How about you take notice? That was strange. That was strange. Anyway, so I wrote the letter, and as I was writing it, hang on a minute, this makes sense, because I'm cutting the ties with the past. And you know what? We lobbed along to the old post box, put it through, and an amazing thing happened. I felt free. I'd been the prisoner. I thought that all the time that I was saying, I'm going to get him and I'm going to do this, that and the other to him, I thought he was suffering. He was up the pub, wasn't he, drinking gin and tonics with my money. Right? And I'm thinking I'm doing some good, having all these terrible thoughts. But the second that I let go, my life changed. The steps. Hey, our kids. The steps in life are your security against the future. Okay? I was spending my life down here. This is me. Big pair of boots, hands on hips, and a big smile on my face now because I've sorted everything out. Right? But I was down here for years, looking up here, saying, right, if it wasn't for that bloke, I'd have been up here again. Right? So I'm spending all my life, every day, looking up here at where I thought I should be. Right? But I'd already been up here, and now I'm down here. But you can't skip the steps, because they're your insurance. But I tell you something, if you've been up here and you fall down, because do you remember the wall? You remember the wall? Everyone in the 10%, if they go skin and fall back in this side of the wall, they get back very quick. Do you know why? Because they know the steps. They've already been up the steps. Okay? Oh, it's happening again. Oh dear. I'll have to hold it like that. Anyway, so the steps are your security. So if you've never been up here, don't stand down here dreaming, because it's no good to you. Because that's what Mike did. He was down here and he nicked my business and he got up here. But unfortunately, and if you've read my book, who's read my book, by the way? Oh, there's plenty out there for sale. You'll enjoy that. So he come up here, but when things started going wrong, what happened? He fell back a step, didn't he? That's all new territory to him, isn't it? Because he jumped and missed them all, didn't he? Like the old Paul's winners, right? Now, listen, if you are an idiot, skint, if someone gives you 3 million quid, you're just an idiot with 3 million quid, right? Nothing changes. It don't give you a brain or anything, does it? So what happens is you win 3 million quid and you go bump, 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 and people keep writing you letters. Lend us a few quid. Lend us, hard luck stories. And you've had 3 million quid and 2 years later you've got 8 quid and you say, what happened? It's all gone, right? So by virtue of the fact of getting hold of a few quid, don't make you intelligent with money. What makes you intelligent with money is going up the steps, learning about it and saying, right, I've been here before, and then if things do go wrong and you fall backwards, you're in friendly territory. Make sense? Right, so don't try and skip the steps because they are your insurance. Goes back, everything's all linked, clever how it all intertwines. You don't think I wrote this. Anyway, think of this is the lifting the weight, isn't it? Right, the gym. Plonk, 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 and eventually you get there. Every step you take, providing that you know where you're going, is towards where you want to be. Now, let me turn this over a little bit because there's a lot of new... Oh, this is a good one. Oh, this is a lovely one. This is a lovely one. This is where I'll get to do a little drawing. Now, do you remember we spoke about the mindset earlier? Okay? Your mindset, until you decide to change it. Now, when you change it, it ain't an instant fix. We get what you call transitional disruption. If you change anything, you'll have a bit of a dodgy journey. Like I used to renovate houses and people would come in after I've been in there with a bloody sledgehammer and knocked it all about. I can only see it finished, can't I? The kitchen there, bathroom, lovely lounge, pool out the back, right? Someone else comes in and says, you're bloody mad. What on earth are you doing here? They can't see the vision, but I could. And going through that, all the headaches and heartaches and all the things that go wrong with renovating properties, the only thing that held me together was what? Seeing what it was going to be like when it was finished. And actually, when I walked in there and it's all smashed about, I'm going past the bathroom. Ooh, nice bathroom suite. Going, oh, lovely lounge suite. Right? So you've got to see your vision and you've got to live it now. It's got to be there constantly. You've got to know why you get up in the morning, right? And don't make your vision what you think you can get, because that's what keeping you this side of the wall. Make your vision about what you want and give yourself a bit of a stretch, all right? So, this is a great one, this is lovely. This ain't mine, by the way, I've nicked it. But a monkey goes along, right? And he sees an hole in the ground with a load of nuts in it. Monkeys love a nut. So he goes and he bungs his hand through here like that, right? And he grabs a big handful of nuts, right? They could be monkey nuts, I don't know. Right, he nicks a big bundle of nuts like that. But he's got a mindset of scarcity, what I call scare city. Might like that one? That is one of mine, that. Scare city. I worked out, I was lying down and one night, I thought that'd be a handy old thing, I'll impress people with that. I'll write that on a board when I'm doing a talk sometime. So, he's got his hand in here, but he's got a scarcity mindset, right? So what happens, look at the picture, what happens when he tries to pull his hand out? He can't get it out, right? But he's got such a scarcity mindset that he keeps hanging on. He won't let go. And eventually, he dies in that spot on the side of the wall with the 90% of the other people that have got the same mindset. He can't get the nuts out, so he won't let go of them. But guess what's just up the road? A bleeding tree. And guess what's growing on the tree? Nuts, right? Nuts. All he had to do was let go, and he'd walk up the road. He could have picked a few off the tree and carried on in life. Okay? But he was so determined to hang on to them that he died. It's a poor little sad story, isn't it? Poor little thing. I wasn't going to say he died, but I thought I would, just to be impressive. He got very ill and weak. But, so there he is. He could have let go and moved on. So, what does that tell us? Remember I said about sunk investment? Right, do you remember that earlier? Were you paying attention?
Always.
Good. Sunk investment. This is what happened. I learned this. I'll go back to my story when I'd worked for 2 years. 2 years. 80 hours a week, me and Val, right? And I made the decision to put the key in the door and walk away. 250 grand investment. And I said to the guy, leave all the furniture and that so it don't look like we've done a runner, and it'll be easier for you to let again. Right? Because we had a 10-year lease, or it might have been a 15-year lease. We owed him millions if he wanted to be arsey about it, so I thought it'd be nice. So he said, and then it's not hard to convince someone that you're broke when you're broke, right? The hard thing is convince someone you're rich when you're poor, right? Which is another skill entirely. But sunk investment, very important. Who has got a business that may be a bit wobbly at the moment? Oh, that's handy. Right. So when you make your decision, okay, don't consider the investment. This is very important. Don't consider the time. I can't let it go. You're the monkey. I can't let it go because I've invested all the time in it. And I've invested all the money in it. But because you've invested time and money into something, don't make it right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Take away the emotion. Take away all the things that you've put into it, right? And make a decision based on right and wrong. Is it right? Big list of what's right, big list of what's wrong. Decision, yes or no. Don't drag things around with you if they're wrong. Make the decision, make the move, but don't consider the sunk investment. Does that make sense? Right. Okay, let's go on to something else. I've got my slide coming. How long have I got, Brad?
7 minutes. Croz and counting.
How many?
7.
7? Bloody hell. Shall I get my slide out now? Can you get ready to do my slide, please, AV? Okay. Who's ever heard of FedEx? Right. FedEx had a competition to do their logo. And they had about 300 or 400 entries. And they worked it, went through, looked at them. Okay, I like that one. And I don't like that one. I like that. Anyway, they ended up with 5. 5 entries. And you put it on too early. Don't matter. Don't matter. You won't spoil it because it will just amaze them even more now because they've had time. They had 5 entries. And the boss come in to the thing, make the choice. And they said, which one do you like? He said, the one with the arrow on it. They went, what? Can you see the arrow? Yeah. The one with the arrow on it. Even the designers didn't know they'd put a bloody arrow on it. Right? So we all see the same thing, but picture it differently. Okay? We all see the same thing, but picture it differently. So what I'm going to do, has anyone got any questions? Because I can do a 5 minutes Q&A if you want. Anyone got a question? Cool, I've done a good job, haven't I? Sir?
So I had a very similar story to you when you started your presentation.
Yeah.
The business I've run for 20 odd years. Getting over, obviously, how long did it take you to get yourself rocking and rolling again?
Well, to be honest, that phase, it's a bit fuzzy, but I should think a couple of years at least, okay? But if you want any advice at all, right, wipe your face. Because once again, this all intertwines. It's all about how you're going to look at life, right? Because as we've discussed and has been said earlier, you are in total control, right? Now, if you're carrying on running a business, see, a lot of people say, never give up. And I agree with that. I agree with it. You've got to be doggedly about it. But listen, if you're pushing crap uphill, right, you've got to stop and have a look and say, shall I give up? It's not failing, giving up. It's saying it's bloody sensible, to be honest with you, because a load of people would be in a far better place in business if they'd have decided to look at something and take the emotion and the money they'd invested out of it, right? Because whatever you've done, you've been up the steps a little way, haven't you? Right? So once you've freed a burden, you can start at the bottom step, and you might have been on step 4. You get up to step 4 very, very quickly again. But if you're stuck on a step, right, because your mind's holding you, pinning you to the spot, right, we all do it to ourselves. I'm very fortunate. Now, none of this stuff's easy. It's simple, but not easy. Does that make sense? It sounds simple. Well, all you got to do is relax. What, you're fucking joking, aren't you? Relax. I'm fucking pinned to the wall, right? But everything starts when you're relaxed. Because what happens, even when you're stressed and you slide down the wall and you give up, you say to yourself, nothing can get any worse. What are you doing? Relaxing. You're really freeing it and you're allowing yourself to relax. Once you relax, you're in the perfect position to move on. Now, that ain't easy to do when you owe a few quid, they're knocking on the door to nick the house, but the thing is, just make sure that you make the decision right. And if you're going to, all the hurdles that you've got over in life, right, you've got 100% track record of getting over every hurdle, haven't you? 100%. So why should the one that you've got now be any different? It might be a harder way of solving it, but you'll always get the other side. So always bear that in mind, right? And every single good decision in life will come from being relaxed. Okay? Now, if I had a magic wand, I'd love to just wave it and give everyone here the ability to take this on board and realise how powerful they are. I haven't, so I'll just leave you with 2 thoughts. One, wherever happiness goes, success and wealth are sure to follow. And the other thing is, my book's on sale out there.
Croz, boys and girls.
An empty pocket, a hole in the jeans, ain't got